Welcome. So just this morning, I saw a tweet by Mike Rubini, who is really one of the people I'm looking up to because he's basically doing what I've been doing for the past 4 months, 4 years now, and he has really many cool products. And yeah, he put out the tweet: Has anyone built a database of Substack's newsletters? Should I do it? And yeah, um, this is something I personally have thought about. But the biggest problem I encountered is that there seemed to be no way to get the subscriber numbers, and this is, I think, the most interesting metric. And if you can't get the subscriber numbers, then well, the whole list might not be really useful, right? So because what I imagine is, and something I've encountered myself just in the past few weeks, is that let's say you want to book an ad slot in a newsletter. And well, the most important factor if you want to do is of course how many subscribers are there. There are of course other metrics like how many people actually open the email and how many actually click on stuff, but the most important metric right at the beginning is just the number of subscribers, right? So yeah, this is what I struggled with and where I stopped the whole idea. So I said, okay, yeah, it's a cool idea, but I can't pull it off. But then Mike put out this tweet and I mentioned this problem I encountered. I think the biggest problem is that the most interesting metric, the number of subscribers, is not public. And then Mike mentioned, you would think that, right? So apparently he found a way to get the subscriber numbers. And yeah, I then answered, if you're able to do this, I'll be your first customer, because I would love to use a list like this just to find cool newsletters where I can book an ad slot for my product, right? So, and then I did a little bit more research myself, sparked by Mike's comment, and was actually able to figure it out myself. And I then exchanged DMs with Mike, and he had quite a few cool ideas. And yeah, so I thought it would be cool if I just record myself as I'm launching a new Lagstack project. So Lagstack is something I put out yesterday. It's just for landing page Airtable Gumroad. So landing page Airtable Gumroad products are what I now call Lagstack products, and my last two paid products, GumSpy and Product Explorer, are Lagstack products. So yeah, I thought it would be fun and might be interesting to some people to see how I'm going about it. And so I think there are really two parts to building, or probably three parts, and as for most products, right? So you of course need an idea, and then for a Lagstack product, you're typically selling data or some research, some kind of list you've collected. And in this case, it would be a database of Substack letters. And well, collecting this information, this list of Substack newsletters, is one part, right? It really starts there. If you can do it, then most of the heavy lifting is already done. But I actually don't want to dive into this right here, because this part is widely different for different kinds of products, and it really goes into a completely different direction, because it's all about scraping. And yeah, if people are interested, I can of course do a video on this topic too. But just now I want to focus on actually, once I have this data set that I want to share, what are the next steps? So how can I get it in front of people? How can I sell access to this data set that I've collected? And actually, I haven't collected the data set yet, so it's still running in the background. So if you're looking here, yeah, it's still collecting Substacks. And so nevertheless, I already have like a small example data set that I can start with. And later, once the script is finished, I will update it with a complete huge list of substacks. So now with the Lagstack project, the first thing, of course, we want to do is create an Airtable. And I already created one here as a test, but let's do it from scratch, just for fun. I hope I can give it the same name again. Let's add some funny emoji. And then yes, indeed, it's possible. So I just created a new Airtable database, which is completely empty. I then remove these fields that I currently don't need. And I leave the name here. And yeah, it's a bit annoying that Airtable always adds these fields, even though you said I want to start from scratch, right? But this is just the way it is, and I always have to delete this. So, but if you have an idea how I can turn this off, then please let me know. I'm not an Airtable expert by any means. So here's like the script. I am the output of my script. So you can see it's not magic. It's just a few Python files, which are just a few kilobytes. So a few lines of code, right? And what I'm doing is I'm fetching newsletters from Airtable, from Substack, and then the output is just CSV, so comma-separated value files. And let's have a look. So I'll just open it in LibreOffice locally, and we can have a look here. So this is a list. So as I mentioned, it's not the full list. I will publish later, but just to get things started, I think it's okay. So we have here 216 Substacks where the script features the name, the link, the tagline, the number of subscribers, and also pricing options. So I will just copy all of this stuff right without changing anything, just in there. Copy paste, and yeah, Airtable should make the table bigger so it all fits in. So this is now the output, and now the first thing we have to do is modify the type of the fields so it fits. For example, this is the URL to the Substack, so we are making sure that it has the proper field type here, and of course we also need to enter a name so people know what it is. Here this is the tagline, and it can just state it is. This is let's say the launch date of the newsletter, and it's a date. So, and doing this kind of thing, of course you can just publish the Airtable in terms of single line text for all fields. But the cool thing, if you tell Substack what kind of data it's actually in here, is that you can then later work with these custom filters where you can say, okay, I only want newsletters that are less than 3 months old but still have more than 10,000 subscribers or something like that, right? So this is pretty cool, and it only works if you tell Airtable what kind of data goes there. So this is a creator, or let's call it creator. And it can also be single line. So this is then the creator bio. And now this is the subscriber number, the number of subscribers, and it's a number integer. So, and again, useful because now we can do this kind of filtering more than 10,000 subscribers. And last not least, the script also fetches the pricing options, which of course is also interesting. So is this a paid newsletter? Is it a free? If there's nothing here, it's a free newsletter. Otherwise, it's you can see something in there. And I already pre-formatted this a little bit in the script. So it's the different options separated by a comma here in the field. So because now what we can do is select multiple select, and let's call this pricing. options. And now we get like these colored selection options. And again, we can now filter just for newsletters that have a $5 a month plan or $10 a month plan. And I'm pretty sure there are other ways to do this, but this is just a solution I came up with without too much hassle, because you see sometimes there are just 2 options, sometimes there are 3. So I decided that I want to work with this multiple select Airtable thing, and this is why I did it like this. And Mike had also a cool idea for additional types of fields that should be included, and I will do this, but right now, just to get started, this is all I need, I think. So the additional fields I will add later, and this is of course possible without problems here, is actually engagement metrics, like how many comments on average does a post get, how many likes gets a post from this newsletter on average. So this is also really useful, I think, because just a large number of subscribers, well, maybe it's just bots, right? You don't know, but these engagement metrics are probably harder to fake. So I'm not sure, I haven't looked into it, but at the very least, it's interesting and useful if you want to find interesting newsletters either to read or to book ad slots in, because if a newsletter gets a lot of engagement, it's probably interesting. So this is where we are now, and almost all the work that we are going to do in Airtable is already done now. Nothing magic happened, so just one quick tip is here to change the name of the view to something that makes sense. For example, newsletters by is what I call it here. Maybe we call it even newsletters by December 2020, because now if we are going to share the view, this is what we want to do. Of course, we want to give people access to this database, and we can do this in Airtable relatively easily. Just by clicking here, we get a link that we can share with people. And now the cool thing is, if someone actually visits the site, you can see actually here is the icon we chose and the name of the grid of the view that we just entered. And if you don't change it and it says just grid view, well, it looks a bit unprofessional, and of course it doesn't really matter. People probably just care about the data, but it's if you know about it, you should do it. So when I started it, I always made sure that here's the right name, but it's actually not what is shown here. It's actually the name of the view, because this is how Airtable works, that you are always just sharing a view, so not the complete database. Now, we're finished, I think, here. So we get the Airtable link, and just one more comment, because I'm pretty sure this is something lots of people struggle with, because you also have like all these different options here. You can restrict access with a password, you can restrict access to an email domain, and you can do lots of fancy stuff. But at least what I like to work with is just keep it simple, just give users a link and they can use it like that, right? Not additional steps or maybe some more complicated authentication framework where you possibly add each subscriber to this to a list of allowed users that are allowed to access this database. So I'm not doing any of this. So I'm just sending out a link to keep it simple. But of course, if you want to do things a bit more sophisticated, you can actually set up like a backend, and then with a login form, sign up form, and then embed this Airtable in the backend in the password protected area. And it's not too hard, right? And Airtable has this beautiful option that you can just embed this view on your site. So if you build a site which is password protected, like in any software as a service product or whatever, you can easily do this also. But just to keep things simple, and I think there aren't that many downsides because if people want to share your stuff, they will do it anyway, and there's really no point to make things complicated, especially if you're just starting out. So at this point, I have no idea if anyone is actually interested in this. So Mike's tweet got like 6 likes. This is not proper validation. So the proper validation is that people actually pay money for it, and so especially just to get started, let's just work with a link and send people who purchase access the link. That's it. That's the whole setup. Now we want to sell access, right? So we're heading over to Gumroad, and we can here under products select that we want to create a new product. And here are our options, right? We could make it a pre-order. So if the database is not ready, we could just say, hey, would you be interested in? And it's cool, but since my script is already working and probably will be finished in like, I don't know, a few hours. So I don't think there's a need to do some pre-order stuff. Just give people what I have so far. And so the 2 options we are then left with is, do we want just to sell like a one-time payment, or do we want to turn it into some subscription business? So, and I think both options here make sense. So you can just sell the data set that you have as it is, right? So people purchase access, they pay once a price, then they get the link, and that's it. But it also makes sense to sell what Gumroad is calling here memberships, so a subscription, because especially for a data set like this, people probably want a database that's up to date, right? So the data I'm fetching is only for today, and subscriber numbers and engagement metrics change all the time. So keeping the data up to date should be interesting for the users. And you can only do this if you are charging a subscription fee, because if people just pay once, you probably can't afford to keep the data up to date, because it's work, right? So of course, I mean, you can also do this with like the classic option where you just sell, for example, each month you put out a data set and allow people to buy the data set with a one-time payment for this month. So it's somewhat similar to the membership option where people just cancel. Yeah, and people can always just cancel. And so far, for my last 2 products, I always worked with memberships, because I personally think it makes more sense for products where you want to keep the data up to date. And for different kind of Lagstack products where, for example, you're just collecting tips on how to launch on Product Hunt, for example, probably the one-time payment option is the way to go, because you might want to keep it up to date, but you aren't making dramatic changes, and it probably won't justify people paying regularly a subscription fee for it. And now, I said that I so far always did a subscription thing, but this time I actually want to do it even easier. Just start selling today. So no recurring. I just want to sell access to this data set as it is. And if people are interested, they can purchase it next month again. No idea if this is a smart idea. Probably not, but I just want to learn too, right? So let's enter the name, newsletter spy. Yeah, I have no idea what we should charge for this. So far I always ended up with like $15. So let's do it again. But maybe we could also make it a pay what you want kind of thing. So I did this with the last data set I was selling called SumoSpy, which collects all the AppSumo products, and it also was just like a one-time thing. So I probably will keep it up to date, but not as regular as if I would charge a subscription fee and I made it pay what you want. And in total, like 2 people donated something, so it's really like a donation because I said the minimum amount is $0 and I didn't expect any payment. And yeah, 2 people still donated money, so they decided to pay some money even though it's a free product. And I made around $30 or so. not exciting. So yeah, let's do it this way. And the reason why I want to do this is, and though this experiment with just one-time payment this time, is that I personally don't like subscribing to stuff. So it's just an additional barrier, because you're always afraid that you forget actually canceling the subscription even though you don't need the product anymore, and then you get charged for something you don't use, and this is super annoying. And yeah, I know this problem, and I'm super generous with my other products. So if people send me an email, oh, I just got charged again, I meant to cancel it, I always say, yeah, sure, here's your money back. I totally understand that, but it's still annoying, and I think it's an additional barrier. So and what I've noticed is with my other products that lots of people are interested in the dataset just once. So maybe they will purchase it like in half a year again, but they are not interested in having a dataset that's updated every month. So it's not that important for them to have the data that up to date. So maybe this one-time payment thing where I publish like, this is a December dataset, and next month it's the January dataset you can also purchase for $50, works better. And this is just a hypothesis. Let's try it, right? So let's say $50, start selling today, next, customize. All right, here we are. Now we need some description, and I haven't thought about it. At the very least, let's say last updated 4th December 2020, so people know what they are getting. Then we need like a header, and I really want to keep things as simple as possible right now. So what I want to do is I go to the Airtable that we just created, and I'm making a screenshot. It doesn't look very good because it's asymmetric, right? So let's make this all a bit bigger so it looks better. And let's say this is our screenshot. So I'm on Windows, where you can do this kind of thing just with a shortcut, but I'm pretty sure on Mac or whatever you're using, it works equally well. So next we're opening Gimp. So I'm not a fan of Gimp, but just to save screenshots quickly, it works pretty well. So it takes a bit long to load it, and it's a bit annoying in my opinion. But still, so I'm just copied it, pasted it, and now I'm exporting it by pressing Control Shift and E. And now let's go to my newsletter spy folder, and let's say Gumroad header. Okay, as easy as it gets, right? So just a screenshot of the this is the wrong folder. This is the right one. And here we go. So this is not conversion optimized or anything. So if you're serious about this, you should spend a few more minutes actually designing something that looks good, and there are people who know more about it, who are knowledgeable, and you should maybe just look at what the best-selling products are doing. But yeah, I think just to start, it's okay. And so you can here change the text. I want this, buy this. Okay, summary. What will you get? Access to an Airtable database. Additional details. Yeah, later we can probably add just a number of records in our database, which is probably interesting. So are there like 10 newsletters or 10,000? That's probably interesting, but since the script isn't finished yet, I will do it later. And now, of course, it gets interesting because we want to give people access. And here is like two options, and both are pretty cool. And actually, there's a third one. And so now, how can we get people access to our Airtable database? And one option that I experimented with in the past is sending people like an access pass, which is a PDF file or a text file, which contains the link to the Airtable. Pretty straightforward. And the cool thing is you can then add a little watermark that says, okay, this access pass is for the email address of the user who purchased it. But even simpler, so you can just, okay, what happened now? No idea. We can take the link and just add it here, right? So instead of having this additional step where we send them an access pass with the link, we just, once you purchase it, you immediately get redirected to the database. And there's just one problem I'm seeing, is that people probably won't save the link, and maybe some will get confused. How can I get access again? And I think if they just go to the Gumroad page again, they will have access again. But I'm not sure. If this is a problem or not. So I did this for Sumo Spy, which was a free product, so no one will complain if they can't find the link again. But if you're paying a little bit of money for something, of course, you don't want to lose it. And there's no way for me to tell people, make sure you save the link of the page you're currently at to make sure you will still have access. But I think a workaround is that we can later that we can send users who bought newsletters by an email that contains the link, just in addition, just to make sure. So after the purchase, they get redirected. They get redirected to the Airtable immediately, which is, I think, a cool user experience. So you purchase, bam, you're there, no friction. And then still, just to make sure they don't lose access if they want to look at the data again in a few days, they get an email which contains the link. So I think this is the way to go. Here in the upper right corner, we can decide what kind of URL we want, and it always looks good if it's, well, exactly the name of the product. And in this case, it's still free. So very good. Here is the option that I mentioned previously, that we can allow customers to pay what they want. That we could do, for example, something like $4, but if people want to pay more, you can do more. And yeah. I think $40.99 is okay. And the good thing is that it's not too low. so I'm still able to give like a launch discount, early user discount, and yeah, still make some money from the work. And that's it, I think. So here below are just more advanced options where you can limit the number of product sales. If you just want, okay, just 100 people are allowed to buy this. So yeah, if you want to experiment with scarcity, this is a great option. But you can also experiment with scarcity later, where you can create discount codes where people, let's say, get 50% off, and it's only valid 10 times or something like this. And this is where Gumroad really shines. So you can do this kind of thing in really a matter of seconds. Okay, and choosing customers to choose a quantity doesn't make any sense, right? So why would anyone pay 5 times? Now, yeah, we need some good marketing copy, and I haven't thought about it yet. Let's just do it later. Let's don't waste any time here. And yeah, I think it should work now. So if we click publish, it should be online. And so we can copy now the URL. And yeah, so this is what it looks like. Not very pretty, but very functional, right? So we have like the header, and the resolution is not very great because if the picture doesn't have exactly the right dimensions, Gumroad scales it down, and then it looks awkward. So this is something I certainly should change. Here we have the price, the name, my name, and the description, which is so far just the name, and people can buy this. So, and now here another cool thing about Gumroad is that since I'm logged in, well, I can purchase the product myself, and here automatically there is a test card, so I won't be actually charged anything if I now click on pay to test the experience. Okay, need to solve some capture. So it says thank you, and I get redirected. Bam. Easy works like this. People are get access and can pay for it. Awesome. Now, there are of course a few additional steps that we should do, like adding marketing copy, because it's just not informative enough. And here it really depends on if you want to use like an external landing page or just want to use the Gumroad landing page, because in principle, what Gumroad is, the product page of Gumroad is like a landing page, right? So it's not very pretty, but it's functional. So it, yeah, it in principle works. But if you want to do get something more customized, then you can, yeah, build one. And I've always done this with my previous products, except for Sumo Spy. But let's keep it this way for now, because creating landing pages is like the scraping part I skipped, a whole nother topic, and it would, yeah, really distract from the main theme, because in principle I can just send people here, and it's good enough. So it won't make or break the success of the product. I think, of course, with a more professional landing page, you will get a few more subscribers, but it's just a matter of percentages, and yeah, won't make or break the whole thing. But more important, as I said, the marketing copy I will do, and also creating this post thing. So here is the Gumroad option where we can choose post. So we have products, customers, post, analytics, and profile. And when I click on post, we get we can decide to create a new post. And now here in the left sidebar is the most important thing, because we can decide that this post that we are going to write only goes out to customers, and we send it via email, and it only goes to customers who bought newsletters by, right? This is what we want. And yeah, there are additional options like, okay, only people who paid more, if you have them pay what you want kind of thing, or only if they purchased it before or after. Really cool additional stuff. And the cool thing is now that in Gumroad, this is not like a newsletter kind of thing, but everyone who buys this gets the latest email. So, and oh, I actually forgot to add this. So, I think if we go back, the option doesn't exist here, which is weird, because if you're deciding to do a membership kind of thing, then you can decide, okay, people get the latest post automatically no matter when they buy it. But yeah, strange. So it seems that what I had in mind actually won't work. Because I don't want to send out like a newsletter to all the customers who after they purchased it, but also all the new ones. So if I'm now sending out a newsletter, for example, the only customer, the post would only go to me. But I want to that all the customers get it, even if they buy it like in a week or something like this. Let's try it, but I think it's not working. Hi. Can access the data here. And maybe something additional nice if. So I'm writing, sorry, a bit awkwardly because of my microphone. it's located between me and the keyboard. So usually I'm able to type quicker and with less echo. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me at jacobgreenfeld@gmail.com. So hesitate, yeah. And now we need the link again, just to really the bare minimum. Save it. Yeah, I don't see any option to send it to users who buy it later. Let me try. So I think the there's no problem. I was overcomplicating stuff because, as you can see, so I made this test purchase, and everyone who purchases Newsletters by gets this kind of email. And now the cool thing is that they get like an email like this with a receipt, and it says view content. And now if we click here, people actually get access to the data. So we don't need this post kind of thing that I just set up. So it was absolutely not necessary. And yeah, I think so. The basics are there. All that's needed now is some polishing, right? So of course I still need to add more data. 200 newsletters is not enough, I think. And the script is running. I will do it later, but there are no additional steps. It's really just copy pasting this huge data set into the Airtable. The rest is functional. So we have a very minimal landing page, and in this case, really using the Gumroad, what Gumroad is providing us. So not very pretty, but if anyone is interested, I can also make another video where I describe in detail how I personally create landing pages, because I think I found a pretty cool approach that works for me, and the best thing is that it's completely free. So I'm using Tailwind, which is a CSS framework, and always start with some cool template, and then I modify it, and I host it for free on Netlify or Wurzel, and it's secure, it's fast, and really easy. So if anyone is interested, I can also do a video on this. And yeah, the second part I didn't discuss in detail is how to actually get the data. So this is, of course, not always necessary when you do a Lagstack project, because you can do Lagstack projects completely without coding skills if you're just selling your expertise or research you did. So you can just enter data manually into your Airtable and sell it. And like the example I mentioned is the product hunt launch list, which is just a list of strategies together with a date when you should do it before the launch. And you need zero coding skills to create this kind of product. So, but at least the products I built for were data products where I'm really selling data that I fetched using scripts that I wrote. So if anyone is interested, I would be happy, of course, to also make a little video where I explain in some detail how I go about this, because it's not rocket science. And yeah, but it's just a different story. And I have to get some food now, but afterwards I will add some marketing copy here. So also, I think another but separate topic is how to write good marketing copy. And then I will add the data as soon as it's ready. I will tweet about it. Maybe on Monday I will launch it on Product Hunt. Not sure. So I have not really a plan. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, if you learned a thing or two, and are interested in me doing similar videos again, just let me know. So this is really just my first experiment of doing anything in that direction. So any feedback would be awesome.